Good afternoon. Welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and I gotta show my shoulders off this afternoon. It is freaking warm, even with the air conditioning on.
Yeah, it's a bit toasty posty out
Yeah.
there.
Well, I have to apologize for soaking everyone in this excessive amount of Bear Ericness, but I don't have too much of a choice. I'd
Would
probably
that be Barrack?
Barrack. Welcome to the Barrack Show. It's where we have Bear Eric all the time.
Send us money or he'll take off one piece of clothing. For every dollar that you send, he'll put on a piece of clothing.
Yeah. Take it off. Put it back on. All right, today we're going to do a character that I always loved the design of from a movie that I felt was underrated, though had issues. And I actually think is one of Disney's more interesting attempts, which was Helga from Atlantis.
Yes.
And thought a great design, thought a good, tough character. Just overall, I think she's solid. And matter of fact, she was one of the better things in that movie. Matter of fact, there was a lot of good things in that movie. There was a number of not good things in that movie, but so yeah, we're gonna do the do.
Yeah, I love that movie because Disney was trying something different. This was during the era.
It was really good at parts, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was during the era where they were trying to focus on. I hate the fact that they did this, but they had to categorize it somehow for Disney.
That's what
They were
corporations do.
Yeah, they were trying to do more quote unquote voice-centric stories. So there wasn't. They toned down the musical. Well, they got rid of the musical aspect.
It was gone outside of
Um,
normal soundtrack stuff, which is what one of the things I really liked about it.
Yeah,
I could just watch a freaking story.
yeah. The character designer was Mike Mignola of Hellboy fame, and they just got a bunch of different people and tried a different style that they normally didn't do. And honestly, those of us who are comic book / story / sequential and narrative nerds, we for the most part loved it.
There was some dumb mistakes in parts, but
They
overall,
Disneyfied some stuff. That's simply, but they did Disneyfy some stuff. It was what it was. Is what it is.
yeah, I mean, there was a number of characters that were so brilliant, and then there was a couple characters that were okay. They kind of worked. I didn't have too much of a problem, and then there were the ones that just didn't work, and they didn't work hard.
It was we put it in for the kids' sake.
Yeah,
Stories like Moliere.
Just
yeah, he
terrible
was-
character.
I'm trying to remember what was his point. What was his
He
arc
was a
that
geologist.
That's right. Okay, yeah, he would. Yeah, that's right.
What the character was made sense.
Yes.
What they did with him was just insufferable.
Yeah. And I mean, they had him at a couple of points where he did his part. The part where Keita punched him in the face was what we all wanted to do in the first place, so yay for that.
Can't argue there. Oh, what was the name of the little Hispanic mechanic?
Oh, that was
Which is just a phrase I like.
this kind of oh man, it's right there. I have to look it up because it's right there and you just
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. Like, I'm completely blanking on her name. And she was like easily one of my favorite characters. I have a soft spot for smart characters. And on top of it, just cute as heck.
right.
And I love the little mechanic outfit. They didn't like cheese it up or make it cutie or
Yeah.
anything. It was just a slightly oversized mechanic's outfit, which was just cool.
It was the overalls, and I adored overalls. I mean,
Yeah.
in the '90s when they were in style, I was all over that stuff. That was my jam right there.
Well, I just respect the kind of the blue collar thing. It's not like I like Blue Jovert or anything, but I go like, no, it's that's kind of an overlooked everyday hero type, and I'm like, you can actually get some really cool characters out of it. And she was a good example of that.
Audrey Ramirez.
That was it, Audrey.
They had the majority of the cast I really love. I mean, Vinny, the demolitions guy. He was
Yeah, he was one of the ones that
was
wasn't
fun.
like unbelievable, but he still worked, and he totally deserved to be there.
He was fun.
He was fun. It's just that I wasn't like screamingly happy about it, you know. Unlike Audrey and the Civil War doctor,
Dr. Sweet.
Dr. Sweet,
Yeah.
because he was a Civil War doctor, and most like Disney stuff, they don't even put remotely that level of just that thinking into it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a Civil War doctor. Oh, that's cool. He's a Civil War doctor. They were going to skip over a lot of the bad stuff. I just like the fact that they had this really tough, no nonsense second. She was second in command, wasn't she? That's what I remember her being.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was lieutenant. Yes.
And
Lieutenant Helga Katrina St. Clair.
and you know, was actually an interesting villain because she, even though she kind of redeemed herself at the last second, it was more out of revenge than it was for doing the right thing.
Yep.
And that is actually that's actually kind of amazing. Like they're like, oh no, she's actually just kind of a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of like, that's kind of awesome. I mean, in most Disney movies, they'll give them that minute where like, oh no, I repent for everything. You're like, oh, roll your eyes, who cares? And she was just like, oh no, screw you, bud. I mean, she did good, but she did good out of spite, you know?
Yeah, I mean, she was along for the ride the entire time, and
She knew exactly what was going on.
and
Yeah.
then once Rourke double crossed her, and she was like, "Oh, well,
Really, buddy?
okay." And then she's like, "Yeah," and they're having the big fight was it that? No, it was a I want to say a dirigible, not a dirigible, but it was a not a hot air balloon, a blimp basically.
Yeah.
Because they were in. They had the gondola type thing that they were in, and they were doing the whole big fight scene, and she's like swinging and kicking at him, and then he knocked her out, and she just dropped and hit the ground, and she was dying because and so, in her revenge, she took out the flare gun, and her dying words to him was nothing personal, because that's what he said to her before he pushed her out of the gondola.
And that's what I mean, is
Yeah.
just pretty badass in that
and
movie.
She fired it and it went up. It blew up the crystal thing that was Keto when she got crystallized, and it went into him. So I remember, yeah, he got crystallized. He fell out of the gondola, and then as the propellers that were spinning at the bottom, he fell through and got cut up by those. So as he went down. Yeah, pretty much.
And it was Garner, wasn't it, that played that character?
James Garner, yeah. Yep.
Because he was so good at being so charming, which is what James Garner is good at.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just made him just a total jerk. You know, like, nice. That is the way to use sort of an actor that everyone trusts and turn them into a villain. That's the way to do it. Like I said, there's things about that movie I really like. It's just that the stuff that they did bad was so freakishly bad. Like I kind of, like you said, I kind of forgive it because they were trying new things. and they kind of screwed up on some of the new things, so I kind of get it. But
Yeah, I appreciate a good heel turn. And yeah, they were, I mean, it was, because in that time period, we had, let's see, 'cause that was 2001. So before then, it was, I think it was Fantasia 2000, and then before that we had, let's see if I remember, Treasure Planet, Tarzan, I want to say Hunchback of Notre Dame, or the Notre Dame. That was, those were the movies that they were trying to be more boy-centric / adventure-esque.
yeah, I'm not entirely against the boy cartoon cat. I mean, if you're in a corporation, it's just so cut and dry as to how their thinking is. There's very little nuance, so I kind of get where they're coming from. But it's just like, I liked Atlantis. Let's move the boy cartoon aside. It was just a classic adventure story.
Yeah, that's.
I'm
yeah.
just fine. That's a boys whatever. I mean, I could see that kind of, I mean, classically speaking, that's kind of been true, I guess. But it's like there's girls out there that like action stuff.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, exactly right. And I'm just going like, oh, let's screw the categories. Can I have more action? Delving down into the earth with mole machines, and there's like World War I era, like soldiers and submarines, and I was really enjoying a lot of that movie.
Yeah.
The whole, we're attacked by a Leviathan, abandoned ship, and I'm going like, is this too much to ask to get a little bit of this old magic back from time to time? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's how it should be all the time. Just give me a little bit of that stuff from time to time.
And didn't they actually have a kind of like a slight funeral scene for all of their fallen comrades?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's what I mean, is there was a lot of stuff there that was actually a little mature. Like one of my favorite shots, and it's not that it's a big deal, it is when the soldiers are driving away and they have the masks on with the red lights and they were all in silhouette. They just, the eyes and the truck goes off into the distance. I was going like, that's a good shot if this is a G or a rated R movie. That is a good shot. Like, there was good stuff in that movie.
Yeah, somebody was studying Jinro.
There was some Jinro action going on there. Yeah, that was...
Well, Jinro, and of course the whole thing of whether or not it was a Nadia and the Secret of Blue Water kind of rip-off.
Wait.
Was he going to use your
I'm gonna give this guy a test. Okay, this is a rechargeable electric eraser. I have some concern here. This is a expensive Japanese model. I like this because of the horsepower. I mean, that sounds almost like a Dremel. This is a very nice, smooth USB rechargeable. And if this thing has horsepower at this sound, I'm going to be super happy. So let's find out how well this erases.
Good.
Wow.
Nice.
Huh.
Well, there you go.
That might have slightly more,
Mm-hmm.
but this is actually doing pretty good. Good for them. I was like hearing the little kind of sound it made. I was going like, oh, maybe it doesn't have that much horsepower, and then I heard it grind down on the paper. I'm like, that's pretty close to the other one. So yeah, it's a audio difference.
Okay.
Old one, which is satisfying. I ain't gonna lie. New one, which is like ninja erasing. That's really quiet. I'm sorry, could you say that again?
With Atlantis, that's where I really wanted to see more actual voice actors like shine, because that's what we had through summer. And Cree Summers mainly known for being a voice actor, and she's done some live action stuff, of course. And she was Freddie on Different World, and that's where.
I liked Freddie.
And then she's done.
I don't care if she was not supposed to be the hot chick. She was the hot chick to me. Even if she was kind of an obnoxious character at the same time.
Well, see, all the various characters on there were the I don't want to like narrow them down. And the hot chicks, they were attractive in their various different ways. You had Whitley, the rich one.
Yeah, she was very pretty, but she was completely obnoxious. I mean, obviously from design. I mean, she was clearly meant to be obnoxious, but.
And she was excuse me. Yeah, she was the rich snooty one, but she calmed down quite a bit, and then she ended up getting married to
Dwayne Wayne.
Yep, to Dwayne Wayne. So she
I watched the
calmed down
show.
quite a bit. Yes, she did.
Yes, I did.
Had a point.
I could never quite get my head wrapped around Dwayne Wayne's fashion, but that's cool. I remember him being a good character.
That 90s black fashion, man.
Yeah, and a 90s white kid with no sense of fashion. Look at what I'm wearing. So.
And then we had, let's see, Dawn Lewis, who she was Jaleesa. And she was the leader, kind of like the leader type.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember her. Yes.
I'm trying to remember who else.
There was Dwayne Wayne's friend.
Yeah.
He's kind of the, I don't want to say
Ron.
Weasley. Yeah, Ron.
Yeah,
Ron Weasley. That's not right.
No, not right at all. He was kind of he was the goofy, right?
Yeah, he was the goofy.
Yeah, he was, and in our court we call him almost doofy. Let's see, there was Kimberly. Let's see, and of course Freddie. And like a bunch of other ones that came through. I remember their characters and their faces, but their names are. So forgive me for anybody who's a Different World fan. It's Sinbad. He was the coach that was in there.
I loved Sinbad. Oh, the old chef. I love the old chef, the bald guy.
He was the Vernon.
Yes, his facial expressions were so good. I just always liked that kind of look he had.
But Cree Summer, she was, I think out of the cast, she was probably maybe like her and like a couple other ones. They were mainly known for being voice actors. Everyone else were just I don't say basic actors, but they were screen actors.
Yeah.
Which was cool, and they all did a good job. But I still want, and this is always going to be my thing, I would love to see Disney go back to having actual voice actors and character actors,
Too much to
as
ask
opposed to
for.
spending millions of dollars for stage
For
and screen actors.
substandard normal actors.
Yeah.
Eric's a dick. No, I'm just speaking the truth. Get professionals.
Which I'm a little worried for Disney's new movie that's coming out, Encanto, because it looks.
What is it?
Encanto, Spanish for In Love.
Cab.
Yeah.
I think this is the
I
first
haven't
time.
showed you the trailer for
Did-
that.
did
I told
you?
you about it, but I haven't showed you.
Okay,
the
okay,
trailer.
because I'm about to say I have no images in my head for this.
It's a Hispanic set area, and it's like all different types of Hispanic culture.
Oh,
And-
wait, that sounds familiar. Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. Okay, I remember you
Yeah,
telling me
and
about that now.
It looks gorgeous. It's like a magical Hispanic realm. And
Okay,
it looks
yeah.
really cute. It looks good. I got a feeling they're gonna Moana it because the music's being done by the same guy who did the music for Moana.
Great.
And I appreciated the music, but I wanted story. And I got a feeling Encanto is gonna be.
I wanted story, and I didn't appreciate the music.
Yeah.
That was such a letdown.
Yeah, and I got a feeling Encanto's going to be exactly like that again. And it's like, I'll watch it, but I'm like, okay, as long as I get story and the music's decent, fine. Because I love musicals. Just give me good music. Anyway.
Well, I can actually go for a good musical if I get good character and story.
Yeah.
And the music adds to that, but that is so rare. It usually really detracts, and I don't think I'm saying this being a snot. I think I'm like, because I've seen some musical stuff where the music really added, and I really enjoyed it. But
Yeah.
if it just is sort of forcing its way in, who cares?
I mean, I'm right there with you. I just.
Jesus, can you imagine Kung Fu Panda if it was a musical? It'd be completely unwatchable. But that's what I mean. It's like there's a reason why I've watched that movie like 9 times. It's because it's good characters, good story.
Yep. It's all right, just fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's where DreamWorks was trying to differentiate themselves from Disney.
Used to differentiate
Yeah,
themselves.
they didn't do a lot of the musicals and stuff, so. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, Atlantis was.
It's a shame that didn't succeed. I'm curious what kind of movies they would have made if it did.
Well, yeah, because they did Atlantis 2, which was, I think, direct to video. The movie it had Leonard Nimoy in it. I mean, come on.
Well, there was but that's what I mean is that there was a lot of really good stuff about the Atlantis movie, and it just didn't succeed. And I'm kind of wondering if it was because of some of the dumb, weird things that they did,
No.
or if it was just didn't work for most people, which is probably what it
That's
was.
what I remember. It was because people, when they, at that time period, when people were seeing Disney, they were expecting Lion King and Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. They were expecting the Renaissance still going, but when Disney was trying to shift over to try and do something new, because they did a decent transition where they went from all the way musical to just musical accompaniment, and the transition started with Hunchback of Notre Dame, because it was still a musical, but they were doing more of a older skewing crowd, because a lot of things in there were catering towards children's stuff. And then from there, that's when we got, was it Pocahontas was next? Let me look it up. Excuse me. Let's see. Disney. Pocahontas.
Yeah, I'm looking at her hair, and this character designer used almost entirely straight lines with a couple of curves, and it's kind of amazing.
Mike Mignola, that's what he's known for.
Well, I don't know if he specifically did this sheet or not, but whoever did this sheet for the animation, this is actually, I'm not even trying to exactly replicate it, I'm just trying to go like, okay, do that, bring that around, whip that over, yada, yada, yada. Wow, whoever did this is good. You know, like,
Okay, Pocahontas was 95. So we had, that's when they were shifting over. So it was, Lion King was in 94, if I remember. Pocahontas was 95. Trying to think, 96 was 96 Hunchback of Notre Dame? Let me see.
we'll make some modifications to the design. Because I kind of get what's going on with the hair here, but I don't quite do hair like that, so. I'm giving this company some credit. Accurate. Or unless maybe that's the name of the eraser. I think that's the company. This is... If this thing holds up and this battery is good for a long time, for a $12 eraser, this is really fabulous.
Okay, here we go. I have the of movies of the Disney movies. All right, so okay, starting in '94 was Lion King. '95 was Goofy movie. Also, Pocahontas was '95, and the Toy Story came out in '95. So that was the Pixar Disney co-release thing. And then '96 was Hunchback of Notre Dame. '97 was Hercules. '98 Mulan, along with The Bug's Life from Pixar. So '99 was Tarzan. Toy Story 2. 2000 was Baby 2000. And another underrated movie, Emperor's New Groove, came out also in 2000.
That is one of the best movies they've ever made. As a matter of fact, I want to rewatch that. There's a number of Disney movies. It's funny. It seems to be the Disney movies that I most love are the ones that nobody else does.
It's the fun ones. It's like Goofy movie, severely underrated. Was like,
Yeah, that was a good movie.
that was one of my favorite Disney movies because they just decided to have fun with it. I mean,
Well, and they still had some heart to it too.
yeah. Oh man, the Goofy parts where he was like getting heartbroken and stuff. Oh my gosh, that was hard to watch. It's like,
Yeah, that Goofy being heartbroken
Yeah.
is heartbreaking.
Yeah. I mean, I remember watching it, and because when it came out, that was my first year of college, and I think like a year or two after, yeah, when it came out, Lisa had my sister had purchased it on DVD or on Blu-ray, it was a DVD, on VHS for her kids, and of course I would watch it.
VH what?
Yeah. So when the kids would go to bed, I'd watch the movie, and I borrowed it from her. And we were talking about it because she's a fan of cartoons also, and she was like, yeah, it was so sad when it was like that one was a Goofy movie. No, it was after, it was a Goofy movie 2 when Max was moving out for college. And she was like, I was so sad because she's like, that just reminded me of my kids when they had to, when they're gonna have to, at the times they were younger, like when they're gonna have to like leave for college. She's like, I was so sad because I don't want to have an empty nest like that. And so it's like that, like those movies really like spoke to a lot of people on some levels. Because I know it got me, man. It was like, just like Goofy just wanted to be a good dad for his son,
And you know, and he's kind of goofy.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, the part
and it
where,
means he's also kind of childlike and doesn't get stuff, which is awesome.
right. Oh, the part where
Where you find out about his dead wife and stuff. Wasn't there like some photos? Like he was looking at like the.
no,
God, am I remembering a different movie?
yeah, I think so.
God, I could have
There
sworn
was,
that.
the part I was mentioning was
What am I remembering? Okay,
yeah.
keep going. I'm sorry.
Was when they meet up at the motel. It's like they meet each other at the motel after during the travel. And
Was it in the second movie?
No, that was the first movie.
No, the one I'm talking about where first movie is he's a kid, they go out on the trip.
Yep.
Second movie is their older goes off to college.
Max goes off to college. Yeah, I don't remember anything about
Okay,
it.
okay, never mind, keep going.
Yeah.
I think I'm just remembering something else.
Possibly. Like,
It's warm in here, and I'm not wearing pants. No, I'm wearing pants.
I forgot the point I was trying to make.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm a dumbass.
But yeah, anyway, back to our original characters and stuff. But yeah, a lot of the movies that Disney did that weren't their standard musical fare were usually just pretty.
Some of the best ones they ever did.
Yeah.
It's like I always get mad at normal people because they go after the movies that I'm like, but this is boring. This is not interesting. It's great. Did you hear the song?
And I love
Alright.
Disney musicals. I'm one of those people, and I love the music and stuff. And the majority of the stuff, I love the music, and I have a lot of the soundtracks for a lot of the movies and stuff. I mean, the music in Hercules, I love music in Hercules, mainly because they actually use like an actual like
Gospel
choir, and that's like that's my jam. That's my childhood growing up and all that. But they tried something new with a lot of the music, and it was successful. And to this day I still chuckle because there were people online that were just like, yeah, when I was growing up, when I was watching Hercules, this was my introduction into Greek mythology and stuff. And they were just like, I was disappointed to find out that the muses weren't 5 black sassy women.
That I felt was one of the improvements they made.
Because
a couple of them are okay.
But,
Except for that one. You know who I'm talking about.
no, I don't.
I was talking to the TV audience.
But yeah, a lot of their non-standard Disney fare. It was really good. Yeah, I applaud bringing back Notre Dame Notre Dame again, because of what they were trying to do to bring things a bit more
Mature.
Yeah, and there's some
There was a few moments in there that really impressed
Oh,
me.
yeah, the Hellfire song.
The Hellfire song
that-
is one of the best things I think Disney ever did.
Yeah, and I love the contraposto of the song that was it was um the song that Esmeralda was that that was the song that went along with Hellfire. It was crap, I'm blanking on the song and I love it and I have it on the soundtrack. God bless the Outcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the way it leads up and when it ends, and then you hear the church bells ringing and you see Quasimodo ringing the bells, which then leads into the monks in the male chorus singing the Latin chorus, which then leads into the Hellfire song, which starts out as just this, as Frollo singing how good of a guy he is and he's pious and he's never done this and never done that, and it just turns into this whole entire epic song of just how much of a creep he is.
Depraved creepo, yeah. Well, the thing is I listened to Pink Floyd's The Wall, and if you listen to The Wall and the soundtrack from Notre Dame, Hunchback, there's some weird parallels. There's some really, like, huh? Like, it's almost like somebody took The Wall and went, let's make a Disney soundtrack out of this.
Probably inspired by it, yeah.
Yeah, because and I'm not sure how many people realize that, but I was like listening to the two, going like, this can't be a coincidence that they're this close to each other. And I think I need to start drawing some women with more straight faces like this. I usually do more curvier faces, and there's something rather striking about this skull-cracking jawline that she has.
I mean, they gave her the caricature German look, so because she is German, so.
Yeah, but it's just it really works. Like I think I might need to go in and start doing a couple more characters with this kind of a severity to their angles, because it would offset my softer looking characters.
Yeah.
But don't you want to make all the characters the same? No.
Why?
No. Absolutely not.
My answer to that is why? Boring.
Yeah, exactly. They should all have big boobs. No, they shouldn't.
We have the
A couple
ability-
should, but not them all.
We have the ability to create worlds and characters and basically reshape everything how we want it to be. Why we want to make the same thing over and over
Yeah.
again?
I mean, if you got a favorite character type, make a really good version of it and draw that character a lot, but don't make all your characters look the same. That is just a terrible idea.
Have some variety to your buffet, you know? I think the thing with Atlantis that kind of burns my bacon a little bit is Kita is an actual, she's an actual princess. She's an actual Disney princess, and they never put her on any of the Disney princess merchandise. The majority of them on there aren't actual princesses, or they marry into it and become a princess. Okay, fine. But she's an actual, like, princess several times over, and she's never in any of the books included. On the Disney princess stuff, it's always the same Cinderella, Snow
Though it's
White.
not based on the doing the right thing, it's based upon their sales.
Yeah.
So they're always going to have their,
They're,
their Justice League lineup.
well, they're safety nets, basically.
Yeah, and then that shouldn't be surprising. Disney is not there to be, part of American culture. They're there to make money. Period. And when people are like, I can't believe, blah, 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 I'm like, yes, I can. Have you ever worked for a corporation? Corporations are not there to care about people. They're there to make money. And that's all they're there for.
Yeah, and I realize that it still burns
Yeah.
bacon.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it. I'm just saying. When people, I can't believe, I'm like, really? Okay.
Disney's going to Disney.
Exactly right.
Just wish they would still do, like, just put more of their characters up there, which I had to laugh when, because Disney acquired Fox, Fox Studios and stuff, and the Aliens franchise is a Fox production, so people are just like, so is the Alien Queen.
Nice.
Is she gonna be the next Disney princess?
No, but all the drones are, because that's a queen.
Yeah. Which,
All the drones, they're all princesses.
Yeah, which they're following in the true aspect, because in traditional Disney lore, the queens were always the evil ones. Which is why you see so many princess stuff, because the princes were good.
Because
the
old
queens were
people are
always-
evil, and young people are good,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yep.
Thank you, Walt. If you're old and busted, you're evil. If you're young, fresh, and tingly, you're good. Thank you, Walt.
Well, not only that, that's pretty much just been humanity in itself. Can you still produce eggs?
Yes.
Well, then,
I
get in here. What are
think-
you waiting for? You're still one of the hot ones. Don't tell your older sister. She's mean. Your older sister or your big brother who's the jerk.
could
Okay.
drop our family a note real quick with
Somebody just popped over the note. George. Says, hey George. Says,
Hey,
I'm
George.
taking a short break from work. Who are you joining today? Loved your comment about not drawing all faces all the same. Remember John Byrne? Yep. Famous Marvel artist, but he knew how to draw one female face, just change the hair from one to the next.
Yep.
Yep.
Helga from Atlantis.
And what were you saying now?
Could you drop Mom, Dad, Sean, Persephone a quick note about family dinner?
Oh,
Yeah, because it's coming up in like 20
I
minutes.
didn't know I was supposed to do that. Okay, I didn't.
No,
I
you didn't know you're supposed to do that. I'm asking you to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Yeah, I have to get stuff set up for that. It has to wait until after we're done because
Yeah, sorry, George. I don't get all of my notes, message stuff up on my screen. I wish I did, but
But I get them from here, so. Yeah,
well,
but yeah,
apparently that's too technological for these companies. So
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, John Byrne, yeah, fantastic artist, but yeah, he suffered from same face. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the thing, though, is depending upon what you're doing, well, it's why in anime you've got that same face syndrome where they just change the hair and the costume, but the faces are not always, but sometimes, often
a
the same.
lot of the stuff.
A lot of
A
them,
lot of the older stuff. Yeah.
and that wasn't true across the board, but there were definitely some shows where the faces were all the same, and everyone just stared at their bright-colored hair, which still had good shows, but it was also like, could you maybe change the shape of the face just a little bit? Just a little. And then there were the really good ones where they clearly all the characters had different shapes, faces, eyes, nose, lips.
Yeah, and that's thankfully that's gotten a lot better, especially with a lot of the more modern anime. A lot of that has changed. So yeah, they're finally getting more different character faces, different character bodies, different races in general.
I can't blame them though. Like, I'm trying to imagine if I was trying to get a product out and I didn't have enough money to really make it what I wanted, but I was just trying to just get it done. I mean, you got to make sacrifices here and there. I mean, that's how Hanna-Barbera got their stuff done, was by making sacrifices. And sometimes it made a good shows, and sometimes it didn't. So it's not like I can go like, shame, shame, guys. I just can't do that.
What did you want me? Because I don't have Sean Persephone's stuff on this computer.
Oh,
So-
right. Okay, don't worry about it.
So I can at least tell mom and dad. From this
Yeah.
computer.
Just a, we're starting at 5, right?
Sure.
Well, yeah, we're starting at 5, right?
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, sure.
Well, yeah. We'll be sending you guys a link in 15 minutes or so, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is not a bad Helga. I don't feel bad about this one.
Yeah. I think
Unlike
she'll
my
be good.
space ghosts.
You're not gonna let that one go.
That is bugging me. When I try a character multiple times in a row and I still can't make it sing, oh, that bugs me. Especially when ones where I'm like, well, I don't even watch this show that much. Oh, that's a pretty good version of them. Like,
George says, best bit with Helga was talking with Cookie about lettuce. It's a vegetable, one of the 4 basic food groups. Cookie, I got your 4 basic food groups of beans, bacon, whiskey, and lard. Yep.
yep, that was a
Well, hold up 3 fingers. Yeah.
beans, bacon, whiskey, and lard. Yeah,
You're talking about making that into a remix.
that was good. That was good, man. Yeah, that was really funny. That was one of the parts of Atlantis where the silly humor worked well. Cookie was funny.
And that was Jim Varney's last
Yep.
role.
Bacon, whiskey, and lard. This week I'm going to get my newsletter set up, the schedule for I'm drawn next month. I'm going to do my best to forget that this is the character that I drew. Because I don't know who's ending up on this other side of the sketchbook. Because if it ends up being like Charmander or something, it's going to be good times all around. Yeah, actually, this one turned out pretty well.
Turned out nice.
Yeah. Once I figured out how her hair worked. Whoever put this hair together, it really did a neat job.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I wish that we could actually, like, I don't know if there's an art book released for that one, but I wish that they would release just a lot of the work on those movies. 'Cause I'd love to see the breakdowns and all that stuff.
All right. Because I'm trying to make this go somewhere, TV land, we got to do the short bit here. Do you want a schedule of upcoming episodes and links to missed episodes sent to your email? Then go to supersecretprojectx.com/ericart and sign up for my newsletter at the bottom of the page. And maybe somebody will open up my newsletters and read them. I'm not bitter. I'm just hoping. So I'm back. And go do my Mr. Rogers bit. There we go. Close that puppy on up. Put my shoes away, so to say. Oh, get out of there, you. You don't belong in there. Go home, DOG. Go home, DOG. You don't belong in my sketch box. Oh, I've got two now. Gotta figure out what to do about that. Well, firstly, I'm going to plug this one back in.
Say, put the cover back on.
Uh-oh.
Just protect your head.
I apparently don't know what I'm doing. I mean, you're just going to sit right there. Sit right there.
At least put
out
his
of the
helmet
screen.
back on.